Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and a hearty welcome to League Unlock. Mark here, alongside Eric, for some more League Unlock action as we finally look forward, and we're going to do the full preview for the play-in stage. I'm talking preview and predictions. It's finally about time to see who we think is going to come out of these groups.
This is how you know that it's almost game time here, just a couple of sleeps away from getting Worlds underway, getting started here, and of course, even some people like to say, yeah, it's the play-ins, though. That don't really count. No.
It counts, baby.
They count big time. It's Worlds, and it's coming up soon. Time to get into predictions.
Yeah, and you got to start with Group A because we are alphabetical here on this show. We like to stay very organized, and Group A, obviously, you got Clutch, Unicorns, and Mammoth. And as we know, the play-in stage, the rules are always whoever's a Pool 1 team are going to be huge favorites, and very unlikely that they get upset. I think Clutch will play some close games against Unicorn specifically, but I still feel like they're going to go undefeated.
This is certainly one of those situations where you're looking at Clutch and you're thinking to yourself that, yes, as the number 1 seed heading into this play-in group, you should be relatively confident in yourselves and your ability to be the team at the very top of it here, but I think it is right for some people to have a little bit of a cause for concern here, thinking that, yes, there will be some of these close matches and they can go against Clutch. Anything can happen in these kind of best-of-1 situations here. But if you are Clutch Gaming, you should be counting on yourselves to be the top squad after this.
Yeah, and Unicorns, I can easily see them, like I said, playing close against Clutch, maybe even both times, but still losing. I think they'll be the big favorites against Mammoth, so they're going to go 2-2, secure that second seed, and head into the knockout round, because I still think they're probably one of, if not the strongest, if you're talking Pool 2 teams at this tournament.
Yeah, especially if you're talking Pool 2 teams. This has to be one of the squads that you're looking at with the Unicorns of Love. I think the big thing for me as well is going to be on the coaching staff. You've got Sheepy still there, and I think that type of level of experience and veteran status, what he's seen through, I think can help in this coaching staff and their approach to some of these matches here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to vault them into the top spot in this group.
And for Mammoth from the OPL, the third team, the third seed, third pool coming in here. We got them 0-4. Maybe they can take a win against the Unicorns, but I really do not have a ton of faith here in the OPL in this group. It was a tough group for them to draw because it's two of the strongest teams in the whole event.
This has got to be the worst group for Mammoth to have pretty much been drawn into for sure. When you look here at the level of play that should be going on and what we should be seeing here, I just don't think that Mammoth will be able to stack up to it here. And I think that that's an unfortunate thing because, hey, we have seen pretty recently, we saw the Bombers come so close at MSI to getting through here, and now you just get this type of situation where, yes, Mammoth is a good squad coming over here into the play-ins, but I think right now this is kind of one of those ones where you just might be out of your depth here, and especially given the group here with Unicorns and Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, and Triple and King, as we've said before, both have a lot of international experience at MSI and previous iterations of the World Championship, but I still don't have enough faith that that's going to be enough to get them out of here. They even have the momentum of going undefeated through their playoff run, but Unicorns and Clutch are going to be too good in that matchup. When it comes to Group B is a lot more interesting. I think it's going to be a fun group. Obviously, Splice is going to be, again, the huge favorites, but we got them as a prediction. Actually dropping a game. I think that the meta for Splice is, I don't know if it's going to be great for them coming into this entire World Championship. I think Isurus and DFM out of the LJL are both pretty solid squads, and if their early game is on point, I think Isurus in particular could be taking a game off Splice.
This is really going to be important for Splice here, the way that a lot of key members perform here for this squad. Of course, you're relying upon your bot lane with Kabe and Rascaron being your late game insurance. Of course, having Humanoid and Vizichachi give you solid solo lane performances is always going to be vital for this squad. But when it comes down to it here, in this group here, being able to manage the early game that Isurus Gaming will want to put onto you here, it's going to be all about Xerxes play in the jungle early on here for me for Splice. That is going to be a big indicator on if they're able to get this job done here, if they're going to be able to kind of manage here some of the tempo that here a team like Isurus will want to push onto a slower paced squad like Splice. I think that is going to be their key, is having someone like Xerxes be able to handle things out there in that early game, find some advantages there, some little bit of punchback, so that you're not so far behind or out of a position that this team fighting team can take over later.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be You know, a lot of these play-in teams, a lot of these minor regions, they don't play slow because they're not necessarily focused on the macro aspects of gameplay, so they like to rev things up pre-15 minutes, and sometimes we have seen that get the better of Splice, although they were a lot better here in the summer split. They're still going to be the big favorites. They're absolutely still going to finish first in this group, but I wouldn't be shocked if they dropped a game. For Detonation Focus Me and the Japanese squad, I think it's almost a toss-up who's going to finish as that second seed here in this group. I think it could very much go back and forth between either of these seeds.
I think right now when you're talking about who is going to be the one other than Splice here to get out, I think it's important to think about the different play styles here and who is going to be able to get the edge. Right now, I still feel like Isurus Gaming will get that edge over Detonation Focus Me. I think that Detonation Focus Me is still a squad that is more so tailored towards a late game style of play, the team fighting as opposed to the early game that you still find here with Isurus, and I think that they are going to be able to find strength with their early game power against a squad like Detonation Focus Me, but I think a player like Xurse can help mitigate that for a squad like Splice.
And both of these minor region squads in this group, they probably have the most experience out of any of the other rosters outside of those main Pool 1 seeds. And even more than Clutch and Splice, really. DFM and Isurus, they were both there at MSI. DFM was one game away from getting out of their group, and they've both tried to qualify for Worlds before. So they're not going to be afraid of being on this big stage. It's just whether or not they can play to that level that we saw them performing at domestically.
Right, and I think for Splice, then you're going to have to lean on your veteran here in Kabe in the bottom lane. Your member of Splice being there at Worlds before, this is certainly going to be a player that you can rely upon here in this type of situation. When you have a lineup here, a squad that doesn't have a lot of players with that type of international experience, that can be a big thing here early on in the play-ins that Splice maybe wants to try and lean in a bit to the veteran status of someone like Kabe.
Yeah, and remember, this is where we'll see the beginning of that 9.19 meta at the World Championship. It's absolutely going to be the beginning of maybe some fun picks coming out. How focused are teams actually going to be on that bottom lane? Are you going to be getting your marksman or awesome dude carry ahead? Because as we've seen, even Reckless is spamming mages in solo queue.
Hey, it's gonna be a wild time. Not gonna see a crazy amount of marksmen in the bottom lane. I still think majority should be, but hey, it's gonna
80
be
carries in 2019? Come on, man. Nobody wants to see
We're getting some awesome dude carries down there this time, and it's gonna be all about how big is your champion pool down there.
Yeah, Group B, though, definitely much more open. Who's going to finish in that second spot? Coming up after the break, we take a look at Groups C and D, and the question really is, who can not get tilted after playing Damwon on the Rift? Welcome back, friends, to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys, fully previewing and predicting the play-in stage, and we are on to Group C, which is... this always happens in play-ins. Whoever has that Pool 1 from the LMS is the most wide open group, and you have the best opportunity to avoid playing one of those Pool 1 seeds, and this year it's no exception.
This is certainly one of those instances here. Of course, you're going to have one of these groups in the play-ins, and it's always usually the one here that the attention turns to the kind of Pool 2, kind of 3 type of team here and saying, what do you got here for us? What can you do with an opportunity here to really take charge of your own group in something that seems a bit more open?
And this is a chance for low-key eSports and for the VCS Vietnam as a region to show that, we're actually better than the LMS. And I think low-key has a legit shot at, I mean, it's not really a huge upset if they finish first in this group ahead of Hong Kong Attitude. I don't think many people would bat an eye, but the meta is so great for Vietnam, and they looked much better in their playoff run. The regular season, there was a lot of inconsistency for them. There's basically 4 teams that were actually good in the VCS. It was obviously GAM Esports, the Dashing Buffalo, Team Flash, and Low-Key. And Low-Key were the surprise team to run through that gauntlet and take down Buffalo and Flash to get here.
I think a lot of people might be somewhat surprised having the LMS 1 seed out of that first spot here, but you really do need to pay attention and respect here to Low-Key and what they've been able to do, the type of play that they're able to do, how they're able to push the play across the map here. There's one thing here for certain. In their group, they won't be matched in that type of way in how they approach the game and approach the times that they want to get across here on the map. This is certainly going to be a squad that looks to push the pace here against the rest of them, and I think that what you have here in this group won't be able to match up.
Yeah, and like I said, you saw Low-Key beat every other good team in the VCS, other than GAM, who they got destroyed by, but Hong Kong Attitude, they didn't necessarily do that same thing in the LMS. I think they're a clear couple tiers below J-Team for sure, who completely dominated the entire split, and AHQ for a time were dominating anyone that wasn't J-Team in the league. So Hong Kong Attitude, I have much less confidence in them than the other two LMS squads. So again, would not be shocked if they finished in that 2 spot.
Right, and I think that this is kind of an instance here that I want to take the time to say that really when you are looking at those first 2 kind of members coming out of the LMS, you do have to give that respect over and say that, yes, these are really good squads here, even with knowing that, yes, you have seen some talent leave the LMS region recently. I think that this here, right here with this Hong Kong Attitude squad, this is where you start to really feel it down towards some of these levels here in the LMS that you don't quite get as much of the talent pool that you have seen in years prior.
Yeah, and even with, some questions and not tons of confidence in them, I still see them finishing and getting out of this group ahead of Mega from the LST, even though it was another incredibly dominant split from them. Lloyd is back in the jungle for, I believe, the 3rd time. He's role swapped back to jungle. They have the 3 key members that were there at MSI, and now Mega has a Korean bottom lane. I don't think they go winless in this group, but I can't see them finishing top 2.
I think that this is certainly an improvement for them here, getting a win at this type of level, at this stage of the year here at a Worlds Play-ins. I think that that is a good thing for Mega moving forward, but I just don't think it's enough at this point in stage, and I think that they do still need some more time, some more, run here as one of these top-level teams in order to get through here at a play-ins level.
What's going to be fantastic for Mega going forward after this event is when the LMS combines with them and they can actually play against some other teams that can challenge them on the
play
Rift.
more than 6 or 7 times a split. That's the best
more
part.
More than 6 best ofs. Yeah, that's a whole lot more practice for them and some teams that, again, will actually challenge them because they've just been destroying their league for a while now.
Yeah, they certainly have been dominant there, but that's, again, one of the issues of having a schedule, such a light league type of situation here, that, hey, once you get towards this play-in stage, you might not quite be as prepared as some of these other leagues leave their teams off.
You just haven't played as many games. The final group, Group D, obviously, and this is the one that I am the most excited for. Obviously, it has a team that is, top 6, top 7 that most people have in their power rankings for the entire event. Yes, we're talking about Damwon Gaming. No, there is not a chance or any timeline where I see them dropping a game in the group stage to Flamengo or Royal Youth unless they decide to role swap across the board. But even then, probably still winning.
Even with maybe an incredible early game coming through from Flamengo or Royal Youth, I'm still thinking to myself, yeah, but there's got to be a way that Nagari or Showmaker's going to pull off some crazy outplay and get the job rolling here. For Damwon, there's no way I see that this squad should be dropping any of the games in this group. This is one of the best teams in all of this whole Worlds tournament here, including every single squad qualified here. So this is absolutely should be easy mode for them in this group stage in the play-in.
And again, initially, you're going to say to Flamengo and Royal Youth, oh man, tough draw, you got Damwon in your group. But hey, one of you guys are getting out, and you're not playing Damwon in the knockout rounds, which is a guaranteed you're not getting into Worlds. I think these guys are very close. Royal, listen, usually we're talking about TCL as the best up-and-coming region, but I could absolutely see Flamengo. I see these guys definitely splitting games and going to a tiebreaker for that final spot, and usually you'd favor Turkey, but I don't know. I think we're both feeling the Flamengo hype train a little bit.
I wanted to see the Flamengos at MSI. I was denied that dream. This is the time now for the Flamengos to get it done here at Worlds Play-ins. I think that they are better off here in the situation going up against Damwon in this one. Not in the sense that they're going to come out of the Damwon series with a win here, because nope, that's not happening. But what I do think here is if you look at the schedule and you look at the timings, I think that they have their match against Damwon in a situation where it's going to be about a 2-hour turnaround before their match against Royal Youth. And I think Royal Youth has something like a 4-hour turnaround. And I think that, hey,
that's a lot of time to think about.
That's a lot of time to stew on the loss of what Damwon has done to you. I think the quick 2-hour turnaround can be something where you can maybe maybe get yourself a little fired up here to try and turn things around, correct some of the mistakes against Damwon that you made, and get into that matchup against Royal Youth and take a win. And that, I think, is going to be the big moment for Flamengo, is if they can get that done.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the biggest indicator for this group, is your mental approach going into and leaving that Damwon match. I hope the coaching staff get these guys fully prepared and just kind of say, listen, we don't have to beat Damwon to get out of here. Just make sure we beat Royal or we beat Flamengo, whoever you're talking about. And I fully can see a tiebreaker going through for either of these squads to get through. BRTT versus Pilot is going to be a hype matchup, but I think Brazil finally lives up to a bit of the hype.
We're going to see that hype coming through. I've got Flamengo making it on into the playoff round of play-ins. That's where they've got to be. I got them going through.
Yeah, and who knows? Because they're not playing Damwon, maybe they get the luck of the draw and play whoever's that first seed from Group C, because that is the dream draw that everyone is going to want. And coming up after the break, we take a look at those potential knockout rounds and if there is any chance for an upset of those first seeds. Have no fear, we have returned to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. We went through who we think is going to be getting out of groups for the play-in stage, and now we're already advancing in our minds to the knockout rounds, and who, not plural, round. There's just one round of knockouts. That's it. You win a best of 5 and you're in.
Hey, that's all it's got to be here. It's just one and done in that series. It's, of course, not one and done in the game situation, but hey, one and done. That is the series that you got to win here if you want to be going on, and that is what it's all about at this point in the play-ins.
And if we're talking about our hypothetical scenarios, who we have coming out as the first seeds, and you take a look at the bracket where the potential is for upsets, obviously most of the Pool 1 squads, except for Hong Kong Attitude, we believe, are getting out of here. So it's the Group A teams at the top, and then B, C, D. And obviously, you cannot match up against anyone from your group, so Unicorns cannot draw Clutch Gaming, assuming they both get out, which again is why it's great for Flamengo there down at the bottom. But Clutch, I'm pretty confident in any of those 4 teams if they match up against. We're talking about them getting through to the main stage.
Yeah, I think when you're looking here at these squads, you're breaking it down here, first seed to second seeds, you can still clearly see that there is a gap here between these teams and what your expectations are for them, even in, hey, especially in a best of 5 type of series here. You should be seeing the strength here from these first seeds coming over. But you still can see here with the second seeds that we've got on this side, there's still a lot of upset potential here, and there's the chance here that these teams kind of take a quick game off of you here, and then all of a sudden you're 1 game down in the hole or whatever, dropping another one to even it up. These are the squads here that can catch up on you pretty quickly and manage to snag one, and all of a sudden you're in a different situation than you thought you were in.
Yeah, but for NA's 3rd seed, I mean, Hooney, the way DeMonte played in the playoffs against some of the best mids in NA, I just, talent-wise, don't think any of those second seeds can match up to Clutch.
And even when you're not talking about here, those 2 big members for Clutch Gaming, you still got a very solid bottom lane in Cody's side.
Cody was incredible.
And Cody has been delivering some incredible performances in KDAs recently. And even a player like Lyra. This is the Lyra more so that we've been wanting to see. This is more so the
Took
end
2
of the
years, but
we saw the good Lyra right out of the gates here coming over to North America, and then we saw bad Lyra. Now we've gone back to good Lyra here this time, and this is what you want to be watching if you're a Clutch Gaming North America fan. I think you should have faith in them, at least at this point in the tournament here. Make it through the play-in stage, group stage, and make it through the playoffs here to get into the main draw.
And most importantly, they're a fun team. They're already memeing about, can't wait to get into Group C and smash Faker and SKT, but make sure you guys get there first. For Group B, Splice as that first seed, pretty confident as well, the same way as Clutch. The only way I could maybe see a crazy upset happening for Splice is if Low Key actually finishes as the 2nd seed and match up against Splice, because a Vietnamese team against Splice, I feel like that matchup could be a disaster.
That one is a disaster for me. That is the one that you want to be avoiding here pretty much at all costs if you are Splice. The only thing worse is Damwon being a 2nd seed, and I'm not entering that.
No. Someone hires them to take out NA or EU.
That could be the only way.
Next level.
And that's the type of thing, that type of espionage, spy trickery that would have to go on here is the only way that I see Damwon dropping into that 2nd seed. So Splice, yes, looking to avoid low-key eSports as that 2nd seed here. I still think out of all of them here. And again, when you're looking at the second seeds that we're expecting here, eSports would be the one that you'd want to avoid. Even having them in your own group and even thinking that you're better than them overall, would still want to avoid them in that type of series just to give you the best chance possible here. But hey, you're Splice, again, coming from the LEC. This is the tournament that you want to be in. You got to be in here in your home region. So you got to put some pride on the line here and make sure you get it done.
Yeah, and I feel like 98 times out of 100, Splice is probably going to win any best of against some of these minor regions. But again, the chaos and insane play style that these Vietnamese teams have that are just go, 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 fight, 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 fight. I think out of all the major region teams, I think Splice might be the most uncomfortable adapting to that play style.
Right, and I think a part of that also does play into when you look at the lineup here, you're looking at a player like Humanoid. I think that could be a bit of an issue here. Some of that inexperience could be something that, again, one of these more prepared type of teams here that has been in the play-in stage many times before, or a squad like Low-Key that's looking to push the pace quite as fast as they might here, could be the issues for Splice. But I think that first couple of games here could be a great indication on what you're going to be getting here from Splice and the type of progress that Humanoid might be showing here at this Worlds.
And for that Group C, we talked about Low-Key or Hong Kong. Whoever finishes as that first seed, if you're from any of the other groups, that's the dream. That's who you want to be playing as Unicorns, Isurus, or Flamengo. You want to draw that first seed from Group C, because I think any three of those squads would have a legitimate shot at getting out of groups if they draw Low-Key or Hong Kong.
Right, that's even the thing here, and that's not to say anything negative here about Low-Key, is that even when you're looking at this one from Group C, you're thinking to yourself, man, if you're one of these second seeds, that's where you gotta be going all costs. That's where you wanna be going there, no matter what, because even in that type of situation here, I can see the Unicorns of Love, I can see Isurus Gaming, I can see Flamengo, I can see all those squads here finding a way to chip away, take a win, maybe take a second one there, and then all of a sudden, you're pushed to the very brink there in that type of matchup.
And Group D is obviously the one you're avoiding at all costs. Very different. You do not want to draw Damwon if you are any of those second seeds, because if you see that getting pulled, you see that banner of Damwon getting pulled, quickly, your hopes and dreams of making the main stage at Worlds will quickly fade away, because obviously Damwon's the best team at this portion of the tournament. Is there a way they're dropping a game in a best of 5?
In a best of 5, sure, they might drop a game, and I think that one at that point could just simply be from a point of inexperience or not taking it maybe as seriously as they should be at that time. I can see that being the issue, but I'd be very hard pressed to find many other reasons for a way that Damwon could be dropping a game here, let alone an entire series at this point in the tournament.
Yeah, and even you might talk about their mental weakness that they had against SKT. I think that's something that they will absolutely be taking as a stage of growth and development, something that they will learn from, and something that we will not see, at least in the play-in stage, against teams that they know as a team that they're stronger than them.
I'm excited for this from the Damwon perspective of, hey, you got play-ins, this is where you get to be the big boss, puff out your chest here, get a bit of confidence, and then you head into a best of 5 type of series where, hey, you win, you're into the main draw, and you get that confidence again in a type of playoff, type of best of type of scenario, and again, that's what you need heading in towards this main Worlds draw to be one of the serious contenders.
The delicate balance for Damwon is getting through play-ins without showing too much of your hand and any crazy picks that you might have. That's it today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.